Bouldering outdoors for beginners. Today we're going to go over everything that you need to know so you can have a fun trip the next time you're in an outdoor bouldering area. I've gotten a couple of requests to showcase me climbing outdoors, and if you know anything about me, I mostly climb indoors. That means I'm a gym climber, and rocks like this scare the crap out of me. So this is just for you that have been requesting these outdoor projects. Not only am I going to go through the essential steps that you need to have a successful and fun outdoor bouldering experience, I'm also going to bring you a couple of bonus tips, so you're going to want to watch this entire thing. Let's quickly start off with what you need to bring with you, and I'm just going to list these off because they should be a little bit easier to recognize. Shoes, chalk brush, pads, the bigger the better, as long as they fit in your car. Bring as many as you can carry, and then you'll also need water and snacks. Next step is to actually find the route. Now, when it comes to finding a route, there are different guidebooks, and unfortunately for this area, the guidebooks aren't very up to date. So I actually use Mountain Project. Once you get to the general location, I use pictures from Mountain Project to look at the routes that I'm trying to find. And sometimes I'll find an adjacent route, which is actually really easy with Mountain Project because there's a feature on there where you can see the adjacent climbs. I'll often go through neighboring climbs of a route that I see, and I recognize the different shapes of the cracks and things like that, and then I'll go from that to neighboring until I get to the route that I actually want to work on. And once you have a route in mind, try and figure out the beta. Now, most guidebooks and Mountain Project has a general direction and a general shape. You're usually not going to move more than an arm's length away for each move. It's not a hard, fast rule of this one arm's length, but it is a good start. After you've figured out all the holds that you're going to use and getting up the route, you're going to start touching as many holds as you can. That will give you a good idea of what to expect. Well, this is one of those things that I keep on forgetting about, but every time I remember, it makes everything so much easier. It's brushing the holds. When it comes to outdoor climbing especially, there is wind, and with wind, dust and dirt, and it gets in the holds. These holds that were once so doable become super slippery, and it makes not only the holds easier to use, it also boosts your confidence, which is probably one of the biggest benefits. So I saw this post Lattice Training did. They're like, would you rather have the finger strength of Alex Magos, the movement of Janja Garnbrett, or the mental capacity of Alex Honnold? That is a no-brainer. Like, what's the point of having finger strength and movement if you don't have the mental strength? And maybe I just feel that way because my mental gets in my way a lot. Outdoor bouldering really showcases for me is my fear prevents me from sending routes. Let's talk about pad location, because now that you know where you're going to be, where your body's going to be, you're going to have a good idea of where your potential swing outs are, where you're potentially going to fall. Now, hopefully you have someone there to spot you, because not only can they help you direct you if you fall to get onto the pad, they can also move the pads as needed. So if you're traversing, for example, they can be there to spot you and then move the pads as you need it. Sometimes you're so low to the ground though, as long as there are no rocks or anything that you need to avoid, it might actually be more dangerous to have a spotter in those situations. Whatever is safest, go with that. And a quick reminder that special I'm doing for the launch of my Patreon is only going till November 21st, so be sure to check the links for that in the description below. There are a couple of things when it comes to etiquette as well that we're going to talk about, just to make sure we are doing our part to keep the crag as clean as possible. Pack out your own trash, and if you can, pack out people's trash that they left behind as well. It's just going to make everyone's experience that much better. And in the area that I'm in, I'm actually in southern Utah. This is sandstone. If you're familiar with sandstone, and actually limestone as well, weather conditions makes a really big difference. Wet rock is highly breakable, and many routes have been ruined because climbers have gone right after the rain, or they've continued climbing while it's raining, and it actually breaks handholds and it ruins that route for everyone else. So please, please don't do that. If it is raining, stop climbing. It's not only for your safety, it's also for the enjoyment of other climbers in the future. All right, now for those bonus tips that I mentioned. My first bonus tip, and it's a little bit more obvious, which is why it's first, is talk to other climbers. We actually ran into some climbers. We started talking to these guys, and they're really familiar with the area and actually gave us recommendations on some other places that you can climb. They just had some sweet tips, and this is just what you get when you talk to other climbers. Even if you're shy, say hi, ask them how they're doing, ask them what projects they're working on, and ask them for recommendations on other routes in the area. This next tip I feel like is money, because I see so many people get scraped up, so many people have bloody knees over it, and my tip for you to prevent the bloody knees, to prevent the scrapes, is to wear pants. There are climbing pants. They're a little bit more expensive than your basketball shorts, but they are totally worth it. They have extra material in their knees oftentimes. There's extra material around your hips so you still have full movement, but it protects your skin from being scraped up. And they're extra durable usually. And this third tip for you is when you're doing a high ball or you're doing a route where you're going to have to hike off one edge, I recommend bringing your tennis shoes up with you. So that could be tying them around your chalk bag or something like that. That way, when you're at the top, you can hike down in your tennis shoes instead of hiking in your climbing shoes. If you want to test your skills and really showcase your weaknesses, like my mental weaknesses, try climbing outdoors. And if you don't know where we are right now, check in the comments below. I'll share all the details because this is a really great place to go climbing for all levels of climbers.